yet again.
There he is.
Like that will be the case. So I like it. We're back to it. We get to talk about the blind blue side for Niket again.
Very interesting right here, you know. You have Tristana and Corki banned away, and the mid laners are like, what other AD carry can we put in the mid lane? Quick, put in your votes. And one that is a tale as old as time is Lucian. He's been played mid lane for so many seasons, and in general, when you can use an AD carry in the mid lane that stays very safe, can't push the wave, and doesn't have to expend a lot of mana, then this is your ultimate choice right here. And Yuekai is going to choose to go with that brand.
Still
Sorry,
some
Lucian.
yeah, Lucian. Still some flexibility in that regard, but yeah, we have seen it go towards mid lane. I really like it into the Corki, but obviously that one's banned away by RA this time around. The brand, though, for Hacker, so keeping to maybe a little bit of that AP style, but also going the hard farming route.
I'm wondering if we're gonna see something like potentially a Jace and then maybe a Nidalee in the jungle to sort of facilitate for the top side of the map. It's not going to be the case. Forget everything I just said. Xiaohao is going back to facilitating with that Sejuani. However, the caveat here is that you do have active lane to play through. Renekton plus Sejuani. You can very easily shut down that top side of the map if you play for it.
And Vicla's like, first of all, we don't want to give it to Yuekai, because if it's open, I'm sure Yuekai locks in that Yone. But you also get the second attempt here for Vicla to make good on that first game, and also the combination with the Sejuani. Really like these lanes for RA so far. It is the Cassante that's ended up locking into the Renekton.
So about shutting down the top side of the map, yeah, Cassante is one of the safest champions when it comes to red side as well. So QingTian is trying to make it as difficult as possible. He had his carry moment over in game number 1. However, now he's going to take a backseat. He's going to allow other members of the set of Ultra Prime. And now we're looking towards that bot lane for RA and support territory for both of these teams. Ziggs, very good ban right here, because Assum has played Ziggs before. He is an enthusiast, and they do need that AP spark, if you will, on the side of RA in terms of damage.
We definitely do. They need a little follow-up and a little bit of... honestly, I really like the Kaisa. A little bit of follow-up for the Yone ultimate there as well. Try to get that backline access. The Xayah is the focus here, so taking away some of the safer options that Ultra Prime might want to go for to get away from these divers. Because right now, RA, they're getting their wetsuits on, and they're getting a little bit of oxygen mask ready to go. They're going deep.
Ooh, very good call out right there, Mazel, onto the Kaisa. They're going to take that one away. One of the AD carries that loves to dive deep together with anyone who's engaging on your team. So RA will not have that. Another very safe AD carry, Ezreal, taking out the board right there. Another one that remains is Sivir. We have been seeing her rise to the occasion quite a lot, especially since the Nautilus, the Leonas are very prominent over in the bot lane. She can shield a lot of that engage ability. Could this be the one that Doggo chooses to go for to stay a little bit more safe in that backline?
I think okay. I think that's a good takeaway from RA, because I think RA were absolutely looking at that Leona to help set up some big combos there. But they're going to go ahead and steal that one away. There still is the choice of what you want to grab for the counter pick ADC here, unless the Lucian will end up going into that spot for Doggo. It is a classic for him. Obviously very comfortable on that one. But want to see if they want to counter this misfortune a little bit, as the Wombo combo will be initiated by RA with the bullet times of Assum.
Ooh, love that misfortune, potentially together with a Rel Wombo combo down. Usually you see Leona together with misfortune because they do so much damage together. Nautilus,
you know who goes good with divers.
Yeah, another great pick right here with the Nautilus, and RA have got a Wombo combo on their hands. Oh, that Kalista is extremely short range.
Everybody should bring an anchor with them when they go diving.
That was a good
one. The man is literally from the ocean. I mean, I guess if you're going there, might as well take somebody, a denizen up there. It is the Zeri locked in the end for Doggo, so he's going to have a lot of team fight damage on his shoulders. And the team fight looks pretty strong from Ultra Prime, but they got to be able to survive these combos from RA.
And RA, not only do they have combos, but they have a lot of pressure in the early game as well. You've got Misfortune over in the early lane. She got buffed recently on patch 14.13, so she does hurt a lot more right now. Her base AD was buffed as well, so She was the stat check 80 carry back in the day, like 2 seasons ago, if I'm not wrong. She was a stat check 80 carry. She had a lot of high AD ratios in her kit, and she still can and will be a bully in lane. However, you also have Renekton up in the top lane for the side of for the side of RA. Ultra Prime. RA. I'm lost.
All right. You got it. You had it.
I am so lost.
But I think
The side
also
of RA
kind of
locked. Done.
Yeah. The thing about it is, though, we did see an extremely dominant first game from Ultra Prime.
Yeah.
I mean, they absolutely came out swinging on the blue side. I expect RA to have a bit of a fight of their own, but you have to recenter yourself a little bit after a game like that. The composition they have will absolutely be a centered one, as they have a lot of ease of execution going for them and a lot of combos to dive the backline of Ultra Prime. Ultra Prime, on the other hand, maybe trying to take a little bit of that momentum for themselves. They need to thrive off of Hacker and Yuekai, this mid-jungle duo that makes this team tick. We have a strong early presence. We'll see what Game 2 has in store for us as we kick off now.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Let's go. We got some Gyos.
A little bit going, yeah. Again, I do really enjoy the people who start the chance and they try the hardest. Sometimes they don't try their hardest, you know, they just want to try the chance so the team doesn't feel left out, which is fair enough.
It works. It works.
全军出击。
State of play, it feels like, is both these teams obviously in Group Nirvana, the second group here in our Rumble stage of LPL. Need every win they possibly can get to make sure that they stay in the top 4 of this bottom group. And Ultra Prime already took a pretty hard loss against IG, 0-2. So they want to go a little bit more positive in this one. RA started off really strongly, beating TT 2-0. Now, we'll see if RA can even up this series itself. We get a little early engaged in the 2v2 in bot side.
And I was looking all this time at Yuekai. He had already pushed far onto that mid lane, wants to get that priority for his jungler. So much of pivotal importance for Ultra Prime that their mid-jungle duo is doing so well. And they're set up for success. They have so much damage between the two. A lot of priority to come through from the Lucian. And I feel like the way that the whole Lucian, Corki versus Yone matchup works is very, very similar. You've got a lot of AoE, with Lucian to work with, but you also have got your auto attacks to push down the wave and punish Yone, who's a melee champion. However, Assum and Jwei have been playing extremely aggressive. And it comes back to the fact that Misfortune is such a lane bully. The second you get a Q through with the Nautilus, she can definitely follow up to punish.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous what kind of damage you can add on, especially if you're able to get those first autos onto the target itself. And now they will have complete control of that bot side. There is no stepping up, really, until you get a couple levels under your belt for Ultra Prime. I want to check in on junglers. There was some vision gained by RA over Hacker on his path. They are both barreling down towards this bot side, though.
And if you look on the map as a whole, this is a complete different image that we had from game number 1. Both of the junglers are going to be full clearing towards that bot side. However, Xiaohao is looking mid.
Oh, Yuekai dashes forward, and that might have just sealed his fate. Level 3 gank with the Flash Arctic Assault, and now Yuekai gets locked down. First blood for Xiaohao, and a bit of revenge from game number 1.
They say if you fail, try again. Xiaohao, fantastic gank right here. Doesn't finish the full clear, grabs that bright buff straight into that mid lane. The expected Sejuani to try and full clear. Brand is such a fast champion when it comes to clearing the jungle that if you're playing a ganking jungler and you show up, you're losing something. But his bot lane corner was so safe that Xiaohao opted for that mid lane gank. Very, very well done and very needed for their early game.
As soon as Yuekai dashed forward, that was the all-go button for Xiaohao, and he will end up finding a little bit of presence now, which means he could try to upend Hacker a little bit more on this Brand. Brand, though, will continue doing Brand things and quick clear in the jungle. Hasn't taken his back yet. We'll do that now.
Should probably take the back and head towards that bot side, see if the Skull Crab is still alive, which it is. We know it is, but he doesn't know. But we'll see whether he's gonna choose to go towards the top side of the map. And again, Xiaoxu right here on a much better matchup for him. He does have the upper hand onto the Renekton, into the Cassante, can bully very early on. You can use the Renekton level 6 as well to play around those fights towards the neutral objectives. Very nice hooks right there. Constantly that bot lane for RA also 1 level up on their counterparts. That is a great start to game number 2 for Rare Atom.
Oh yeah, much better as well than last game. Right now, Xiaohao is being spotted out on a ward going into the jungle of Hacker. They do have this control ward to play off of here, though. Hacker knows there's some spice waiting for him in the jungle, or maybe some cold. As Xiaoxu getting a really nice trade on this QingTian. It will be a steal of the Chicky Nuggies, though, by Xiaohao.
They had Yone pushing in, so they used the extra body from Vicla, level 5 onto this Yone to get into the jungle and steal some of those chickens, as you mentioned. Bot lane had a lot of control as well, and this is great play from the side of Rare Atom because they know which lanes are in danger and which are not, and especially when you spot the brand, then your lanes, especially bot and top that have had priority the entire time, are just free to permanently push. So you do have the support of your team to get into this jungle and fight for you at whatever moment possible. Very good stuff right here from RA. However, Ultra Prime will grab and will continue on the 100% objective control here within the series.
Yeah. You know, Assum and Jwei's pockets were getting a little too full with gold. They had to go back. BF sword first completed there for RA and Assum, at least. And at least Ultra Prime take a bit of an advantage of the back there, but they will end up getting a bit of a pity prize in terms of that first dragon. They have to follow that one up and continue stacking that. As grubs are already started up by Xiaohao on the other side, we see support starting to get out on the map.
And if you look in general at the items, I love how you spotted the BF sword, because if you look at the items, it's all combat items that have been purchased. Apart from the Yone that's gone more towards that attack speed, if you will, as Hacker is wrapping around the Yone that we were just talking about. Every single other member, you'll see a pickaxe onto the Renekton, you'll see a BF sword onto the Misfortune. This is raw damage items ready to brawl.
Hacker. This is really rough for Hacker. He does get the ignite immediately on him. Xiaohao's going to take the big chicken there in the end. As Xiaoxu was already moving down. It was only 2 grubs secured by RA. They were feeling like they needed to make a collapse on mid lane.
You know what? Xiaohao's not having it. This is his jungle now. You don't get to steal anything from him. You see his willingness right there to just dive in, take the last big chicken for himself. He's had enough from that level 1 bullying that happened in game number 1. However, again, right here, I'm loving the fact that RA are ready to fight. And talking about fighting, Jwei has taken every single Q he could find. Xiaohao will find himself towards the bottom of the map, and they do have a wave to work with. No level 6 on Leona or Zeri, and they have level 6 on Misfortune. This could be huge.
Yeah, that's really big.
Oh.
The all-out, though, at top lane. You had to know it was coming. And Hacker will be the one that picks that one. That's huge. And he is going to steal away the blue over here. Bot lane, the gank has not been pulled off yet. And I don't know if they're going to be able to.
Ooh, I was about to say, as a consequence of top lane dying, you have to back to try and defend your jungle. But Xiaohao stayed around, tried to reset, but still stayed on the map. And now he's mid lane, trying to make his way towards his top side of the map. But his top side of the map is most likely gone because you know Brand is around. So a little bit of a probably miscommunication onto the map. Xiaohao is still gonna look for those void grabs, trying to defend them. Hacker has to back since he got that kill. And that Setsuan is stayed on the map a little bit for too long, I would say.
Just a little bit.
I mean, he literally started on both sides and ended up top lane.
Yeah. There's a pretty hefty CS differential gained in mid lane right now by Vicla. I want to see if they can press that one up. Obviously, Yuekai going to get a little bit of support here to kind of clean that one up. But it is a situation where if Vicla is even a little bit ahead at 25 minutes, I'm sorry, but Yone is going to be canceling people on Ultra Prime. Now we're going to get the 1v1 on top side. But I worry that Ultra Prime not being ahead is going to be very difficult for them to execute these fights later on against RA.
They need a lot of time and space created, especially when we're looking at the Zeri, when we're looking at those late game fights. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm looking at Lucian, and I'm looking at Zeri, and I'm looking at Bran, and I'm like, these carries are not necessarily very long-range carries, and they like to be in your face hitting, especially when you've got tanks like Cassandra and Leona to create space for you. That's perfect. But RA have such great backline access with the Renekton, with the Yone, with the ultimate from Nautilus, that even if you keep your distance, they'll close that distance up. So it's up to RA to actually misstep with their engage and give Ultra Prime the space that they need to play those fights around.
Well, we will have first item coming up. Already the Convergence had been completed for a little while by Xiaohao. Obviously a bit of a cheaper item, but the Liandry is completed at about 940. Yet again, this time by Hacker. And on the brand that enables your powers so strongly. And we have a dragon coming up in about 45 seconds.
Ooh, nice straight from Vicla.
Oh my god! Take that lollipop and suck on it, Doggo. My goodness! He's gonna go back in. I love that! Oh my god, he gets the kill in the end. What an absolute debate. Now you're getting the Fade sealed in, though, and Niket's gonna die as well. Pyroclasm is doing work right now, and Doggo's here to clean things up. Double marksman, and here comes Doggo! He goes straight into his own death, though, and a double kill goes over in the end to Assum. Meanwhile, Vicla makes it out alive in the end.
Wow, fantastic play by Vicla right there. Last minute to take that kill onto Doggo. But right before this fight, we literally said it's up to RA to whiff their engage, which will create space for Ultra Prime to play their fights out with the Zeri. And that's exactly what happened. We're gonna hold on to that though, because Dragon has been started. There are not many ultimates around in RA's disposal.
Hacker does so much damage, though. It's actually ridiculous. Not only to the objective, but in that fight as well. Xiaohao not even going to go for it here. Second dragon secured by Ultra Prime.
And it is going to be Ultra Prime with the two dragons right here off of the back of that fight that we just watched. Vicla very lucky to come out alive with his life. The wave is going to get pushed down. Assum and Jwei are going to dispatch of it. And let's look at this fight again, because I feel like this was a whiffed engage. Jwei sees Doggo. Great. You know what this guy can do? He can jump through walls. Misfortune was not fast enough, which means you have now taken one member down from the set of RA. You're fighting 3 versus 4. And look at all the space that's been created. Insanely great block right there from Xiaohao onto that Yone ultimate as well to not reach the backline. And Doggo short, he overreaches. He sees the low HP bars, overreaches. A little bit of life still onto that Yone. Great usage of the shield as well. Vicla gets out. But again, you see how one mistake in terms of an engage can give Ultra Prime what they need to play their fights out.
And they love that this game is at an even pace, because if RA are ahead, I mean, they absolutely have the decision-making power in this one. We speak about that decision-making power. RA were trying to decide to move topside. They were literally moving 4 bodies up here to try to make that play. There is the Grubs Season 2 spawning soon.
Oh, the TP. The TP. Vicla's coming in on the Yone. You do have TP onto Yuekai if they want to take the 5 versus 5 for the Void Grubs. Ultra Prime, I don't know if you want to give away Void Grub buff when there is a Yone and a Renekton, which can very easily split push later on and take your towers down super quickly. However, you need the spots of that mid lane wave and try to get some vision in.
Vicla will end up going into the fight there. Niket wrapping around. They do have QingTian, and they're TPing in Yuekai now as well. Jwei gonna flash away there in the end. Now a little bit of damage being done here as they don't get the Ultra Shock laser. The bullet time only onto 1. Arctic is not gonna hit, and neither will the Glacial Prison. Xiaoxu locked down with Fate Seal from Vicla. It's Big Vicla back in town, baby! As now they got the double tap. Yuekai not gonna go down in the end. Ultra Prime forced off of the play, and that will be full grubs for RA.
Damn, Vicla is so good on this champion. Insane engage right there to push Ultra Prime off of the objectives. It's a 1-for-1 in terms of kills. However, the Grubs will go over to the side of RA. And look at this. RA have already started this, and they threw everything in the kitchen sink onto Jwei. As you can see, even QingTian is going onto this Nautilus. Presses the Q3 on him, and Jwei just walks the heck out. And Vicla, he was blocked last time by Xiaohao. However, this time he did his geometry test, he passed it, and he went from a side angle.
Oh my goodness.
Just
that
about.
Was so ridiculously close.
Just about.
Oh, man. And this game has been much more of the flavor that I expected between these two. It is tussles, it is fights, it is non-stop, complete action. And speaking of that, we get Rift Herald. A little bit of action up here as RA will take that one.
Ultra Prime are going to trade the Rift Herald for a bot lane tower. Again, usually we'll see the Rift Herald being used either as an engage tool. I think Jwei was the last person who tried to use it as an engage tool in the previous series that we saw from RA. Didn't work very well, but also taking that mid lane tower or getting a chunk off of that mid lane tower could be huge. You have a lot of wave clear in the likes of Lucian and Brand together that it's going to be really hard to siege a tower if you're RA, especially since you're only one ranged champion in your entire composition.
That's what makes it so difficult. And that's what maybe helps that low range that you were highlighting for Ultra Prime earlier. But we're getting back on the map. We're getting the Niket Hacker duo team up going out now as well. Very, very potent. But I think the big focus will be Dragon coming up in about 40 seconds. You definitely want to deny a soul point against Ultra Prime because they will then be able to move around the map with that decision-making prowess.
However, all this time, under everyone's noses, Hacker is 2-0-3 on this brand. I'm loving that he's getting highlighted by the broadcast as well on the back of that, because he's been doing fantastically well on the AP carries for the entire series. And he does have his flash available for the next fight, which is going to be of pivotal importance. He needs to stay alive because he is the majority of the damage output that Ultra Prime have onto them, and not to mention, of course, the smite holder. However, Dragon spawned, but everyone has gathered around the top side.
Let's make a play up here because we can, is what they say. Yeah, I think Ultra Prime will go ahead and take the resets here. I think Hacker has so much underlying damage because not only do you think about the kind of AoE or kind of team fight setup that Ultra Prime have, if everyone from RA is diving, they're all going to a singular area. They're all melee, right? And you can easily wreck with a Power Clad. And we saw it happen in that fight in front of the Dragon Pit as well. We'll see if RA can make good on a couple of their advances here, though. They look in mid lane.
They're looking at Doggo. He does have his flash available and his barrier. Niket is around to defend him if that happens. However, right here, both teams are looking for a little bit of mid lane priority to try and take control onto this river. And this is sort of the price that you pay, right? There were 3 members of each team towards the top side of the map. None of them had established a lot of vision in the river. If anything, RA have a little bit more due to having a lot of pressure mid lane and bot lane. So they do know what's happening, and Ultra Prime are trying to scramble themselves around those areas to try and find ways to get into the river. They will manage it right now. And let's see if RA will want to pull the trigger. There is TP onto Vicla and QingTian, who are right now sitting on the top side of the map.
All right, there we go. They're going to use the Rift Herald in mid. It's a bit of a distraction. Karn effects there. The Dragon's already going down. 50-50 here, maybe. Our Hacker, he actually gets it. Oh my goodness, he's immediately going to be blown up, though. Now Doggo doing some work here. Niket going to flash out, but is he going to survive? He is for a while. Fate Seal going to be pushed away, but still gets 2 in the end. All out coming through from QingTian. Doggo taking down Xiaoxu here as well. And now Yuekai able to clean house on Assum. These fights have been neck and neck. But Ultra Prime come out the victor in that one.
Ultra Prime take their soul point and they take 3 lives from RA. They'll get to push that mid lane tower as well with Doggo and QingTian staying alive. You do have the extra rune as well to do the extra damage onto the tower. This is great stuff from Ultra Prime. Being able to free up that mid lane tier 1 as well is an extra victory. And remember what we said earlier on. The more carries you're running on your team, the more threats you have. Yuekai is going to take that top lane tier 1 as well.
Ultra Prime have lived and died by their mid jungle, but right now they're living by their whole team. We see a group effort in this replay.
I'm very surprised that they actually took the 50-50. I felt like for Ultra Prime, they really needed this struggle to try and pressure RA more on the map. However, Hacker gets the smite but dies instantly. But look at Yuekai, look how safe he's playing through the wall. He's got the vision with the control ward into this brush, and he's actually zoning 3 members of RA whilst Doggo is dispatched dispatching of whoever is jumping over the wall. Great stuff from Ultra Prime. I feel like their team fighting has been looking very crisp in this series.
It really has been, and that's not always something we've been able to say. They came out in the early parts of this split with some serious splashes. We're like, oh my God, who's this Niket guy, this rookie coming through? He was very well known in LDL. It was really nice to see him come through, but then we saw some faltering towards the end. It was really close into the split. Like we said, both these teams so very close to being in Group Ascend rather than Group Nirvana, but it really has been about trying to pull it together. And this Ultra Prime roster, it seems like they've learned their lesson from that hard 0-2 loss to IG.
And again, that is so important mentioning the IG loss because that was a 6-game lose streak. And Ultra Prime needed to start winning right here, right now, if they want to make it out of Group Nirvana. And this has been a great showing, Mazel. 4,000 gold in the lead right now. They've got 3 carries with 2 items each. They've got 2 tanks on their teams that can sit in front of them and create time. Xiaoxu's been caught here.
Oh my
Doggo's
God,
in the front line.
just Doggo. That's literally just Doggo's damage, doing almost half of Xiaoxu's health, not able to turn it back around, and Ultra Prime will just fully take the jungle of RA here. They're losing pressure on the map, and they aren't able to get the flex seal down.
The next objective on the map as well is going to be that Baron. Since you have so much control through that mid lane, you can actually sneak in wards and try to catch RA off guard. Talking about catching RA off guard, RA is not going to be defending that bot lane tier 2. Almost falls to Yuekai and QingTian right here. They're going to be taking their resets right now. 1.5 minutes for the next Dragon. RA, I definitely not want to give away. What's that? Oh, he just got the control ward.
And that's
how
how
he
it
got
kicked
it.
all off, yeah.
You know what? That's me for real. You know when you see the control, if you see the control ward, you have to kill the control ward, even if it costs you your life, Mazel.
Because it's just going to stay there forever if you don't. So you got to take care of it now. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
He grows,
like it.
and then he grows more control wards, and then you've lost vision.
That'd be really awful if that's how that works. Can you imagine a controller that just
Like a
spreads
Hydra.
across the map?
Like a Hydra,
Oh
you
my
kill
God.
one, it spawns 3.
That sounds terrifying. Anyways, I also want to check in before we get to these next ones because we have about 50 seconds for the next Dragon. RA have to fight this one. It is a Cloud Soul, but you don't want to give Cloud Soul to this team. They literally pop their ultis and they run at you. So having to fight over that is important. You are on second items now for a couple of members. You have Assum's Lord Doms and a BF sword on top of it. So you will have some damage in your wombo combo for RA.
I just feel like for RA, it really depends on who the first champion that they catch is. It worked pretty well for them when they caught Hacker in this previous iteration of the fight. Xiaohao is going to get spotted onto the ward right here. However, you need to take at least 2 of those 3 carries down with you, and they're looking for an engage right here.
TP in from Vicla there. They were bringing Doggo up, but they really want this tier 2 in bot side. So Ultra Prime is just going to lean this way.
Oh, Xiaohao has spotted Doggo, though, in the jungle, so he's just searching around for him.
Yeah. Wait, they're going to collapse over here. This is 3v4. Maybe they try to go for it. Not going to find the angle they want.
They're
That's a
pinging
very
Yuekai.
greedy back by Yuekai. Will spot out Xiaohao on the transition through that control ward. More jungle going the way of Ultra Prime here.
Ultra Prime is controlling the map so well. They're using the pressure that Yuekai is creating towards the bots on the map. They're looking at the extra members. RA, can they find the one target that they need?
This feels like a cliff's edge, maybe the Mariana Trench, as all these divers got their wetsuits and RA trying to give a fight. But oh my God, something's gone wrong with the oxygen.
Oh!
And Ultra Prime, they're actually able to get 2 back from Assum, though. RA doing some work, and now they're going to collapse over on a Doggo. Ultra Prime, Assum the divers were out of oxygen, but they're there all day long. They'll deny that Dragon Soul, and RA find a little fight left to give in this one.
Ultra Prime pile up on the choke point, and Assum stands still and presses R to anyone who tries to walk forward. Great stuff from RA. They found their target. They stopped the soul from going down, and now they can take finally that mid lane tier 1, create a little bit more pockets of vision for themselves deeper into Ultra Prime's jungle and potentially catch more people as they come. No flash on Hacker for the next skirmisher fight. And let's look at this replay once again. Vicla does have a very nice angle for the fight right here, but has to flash away from QingTian. And look at Assum this whole time. He's just baiting. Niket has to flash forward. They throw everything onto Jwei again, and he's more than happy to tank it and bait the entirety of Ultra Prime to walk through that choke point as Assum uses his bullet time.
Yeah, I'll just say, unfortunately, Niket has one job this game, and it is to use the Solar Flare on the bullet time of Assum. He used it on the Nautilus, and as soon as he did that, Assum stepped back and was like, let's make it rain. And absolutely love that one. So he's 6-2 now. 3 items complete with the IE as well. So that is a serious pack of a punch. And RA, they have their combo online. Only 2,000 gold in the deficit now.
And again, a reminder that it was RA that had to fumble their engage for Ultra Prime to create space for themselves. Ultra Prime forced a little bit too hard through that choke point, and going up for a Baron potentially, which is the only neutral objective left on the map right now for both of these teams to play for. Ultra Prime are going to have to be very careful in terms of how far do they overextend and what bodies do they choose to engage on. Going for Jwei, piling up on him is only going to enable Assum to do a lot more damage. And as you can see, Xiaohao has been trying to find some creative angles in general to try and get a flank, to try and find the targets behind the tanks. Xiaoxu doing the exact same thing. Rare Atom are stepping up here.
I do want to move over. Yeah, Xiaoxu gonna have to flash. Still almost dies to Yuekai, who is also getting those items. But now it's a 4v5. They want to try to go for this, but the angle is a little bit weird. QingTian overextending a bit, but Q3 knocks him back. Jwei getting low. Jwei going down. Bullet time going wide. Now Fire Plasma across the back, and you're burning to that Rylai's, slowing you down. Gonna have to burn the flash there. Xiaoxu is booking it here, but all of his teammates are already dying. A double kill goes over to Yuekai. In the end, he does burn his flash. Vicla trying to put up his best defense, but now Ultra Prime, they're turning around to try to recircle onto this mid lane.
Oh, Doggo dashes in forward just to clear out the wave. They don't give anything over to Ultra Prime and... Sorry, to RA, and Ultra Prime with a great fight right here. They're gonna start the Baron. Xiaohao is around. There's a flash.
QingTian just gonna body block his way out, all out to get him over the wall. The Baron is already going down. RA, they're trying to make a play. Double knock up there. Big seal from Vicla. Isn't gonna be enough though. RA, they have the health bars to try to take this fight. Hacker is the one that needs to be the damage dealer, maybe that front line. Oh, those are some greedy backs, but it is Baron empowered recall, so they will get away with 4 Baron capes.
Vicla snapped back so quickly from that play. I expect him to try and do a little bit more damage, or then potentially take a few of the Baron buffs away with him. However, let's have a look at this again. Xiaoxu and Xiaohao have been trying to find creative angles this entire time. However, Xiaoxu right here got spotted from Ultra Prime. He had to expend his flash to get away, and his HP bar gets chunked down, and this is where Ultra Prime know they've got the bodies advantage. They've got more numbers into this mid lane, and they just straight up engage. They're not going through that choke point. Mid lane is a pretty wide lane, and that Misfortune ultimate does not cover the entirety of it. Very, very clever re-engage coming out from Ultra Prime.
Now RA, they were carving that lead down piece by piece, but they find that that lead has regrown a bit. Maybe like the Hydra ward that we were talking earlier.
No.
Ultra Prime now with a Baron buff for another minute and 40 seconds, looking tier 2s across the board here. They already got the one on bot side. We'll have Doggo there in the side lane right now.
Yeah, Doggo's trying to take some pressure off of that mid lane, put it towards that bot, but RA have pretty good wave clear with the Misfortune right there. Oh, Vicla.
Engage on Niket. Vicla's Bloodthirster down as well. The flash out as well. Now they already got Niket. He is down, but you got to be careful. That Pyroclasm doing some work on the back line. Ultra Prime lose a member though, and that's a bit rough because that is your front line and your primary main engage.
And mainly your Baron buff push, right? This is exactly what you needed to use to take that mid lane tier 2. This would have created chaos into RA's jungle. However, Ultra Prime are staying around, the TP being pulled.
This is a bit of a ballsy fight by Ultra Prime if they want to take it, because all 5 members are going to be here by RA. There is the Dragon Soul to fight for here, which RA will deny once again. So they've done a really good job of timing themselves down to this bot side to stop Ultra Prime from picking up the soul they early got, at least the soul point of.
Yeah, off of the back of Vicla, diving in, getting a pretty good chunk off of Niket, and the rest of the team following up. That was a 4,000 or 5,000 gold lead. It's closed down just a little bit right now, but especially denying the soul from Ultra Prime is going to be huge. Another tower that's going to go down, more gold over to the side of RA, and I have commended RA over and over again for the way they dip in and out of fights, and they've been doing this entire time right here. Vicla finding the poke and then getting that all in from the side of RA. However, Ultra Prime, they do have some Baron buff left in them. It's gonna expire just right now, and Baron power play was just about 1 tower.
At least it works. We also just got 4th item for Assum. He got the rapid fire cannon, so I have a lot more range of damage, at least in his initial hit. But I'm also checking in on kind of those conditions we set out for both teams. The all-in, the engage, definitely there on the side of RA. If they have the upper hand, if they can catch somebody out, that's huge. But we've seen that Ultra Prime have been really sticking it in team fights, and you have to be really careful of the consistent damage they can put out.
And it's very scary, right, for RA diving into Ultra Prime, especially when there's like a Brand with Rylai's. You've got 4 melee champions. That slow is going to be brutal trying to navigate around those team fights. So I feel like a lot of the pressure lies on Assum to get a really huge bullet time to keep himself safe from the Brand poke, from getting engaged on by Niket's Leona. So Assum's positioning right here is going to be key for RA, and they have to rely on him to put down the damage.
So much tense nature to this one. Ultra Prime having taken a very strong game number 1. RA given a bit of a fight here in game number 2, much more like what we expected between these two teams. But we also look back to what this split and especially this Rumble stage has entailed for both these teams. RA started off so strongly with a 2-0 over TT. Ultra Prime losing their series to IG in triumphant fashion, honestly. It felt like Ultra Prime maybe had lost a lot of their mojo they had in the placement stage. But here they are with a lead in back-to-back games and a lot of strength behind them. And it's been led by that mid-jungle that we talked so much about in Hacker and Yuekai.
2-2-9, 4-2-6, both very, very fed in this particular game. 3 items for Hacker. You've got the Hourglass in there. 4 items for Yuekai coming in. They will be the primary carries for their team. Set up a bunch of vision towards the top quadrant of Xiaohao's jungle as well. Going for that Baron with spawning in about 45 seconds. However, it was all cleared out by the pressure of RA. Every time you take a reset, the other team will walk in and establish some vision. However, there is a ward exactly where Assum is walking right now that could potentially be used if RA push too far forward for a flank from QingTian.
Ultra Prime we're looking. They have a massive flank going around them right now. Yuekai
Xiaoxu
is way off of the team. We have double flanks going on for both sides. Who's going to pull the trigger first? And vision being gained by Ultra Prime on the bottom side of this fight, though. And Hacker going to eventually go towards that top side, see if there was any flank going that way. Nothing else going to be gained of it, though. But we do have objectives spotting up, at least the Baron on the top side, which Ultra Prime will move vision around now.
However, huge props to RA. They've constantly been trying to find ways to get behind enemy lines on Ultra Prime. There's 3 carries, all 3 very fed on the side of Ultra Prime, making sure that you take 1 or 2 down with you. If you're Renekton, if you're Sejuani, is huge. And both Xiaoxu and Xiaohao have been trying to find this. However, right now, it's a straight up 5 versus 5 for the Baron.
Watch Vicla, watch Assum. Bullet time / Fate Seal, the biggest combos for RA. If they can get those, it is a guaranteed win. They will force the hand of Ultra Prime. You got to be careful in these situations, though, because Ultra Prime have a lot of strength from range. They can throw a Pyroclasm into that pit, and it'll get so scary. There they go. They're going to do it. They got so much damage. Look at the flank, though. Xiaoxu looking for Yuekai. Doesn't get it. The Baron has gone down to Ultra Prime, and Assum has fallen as well. The rest of RA, they had best laid plans, but you know what they say about that. And Ultra Prime make it good. Almost 7,000 damage by Doggo, and he, the veteran here, has made the difference.
We wanted to see him pop off, and when Ultra Prime needed him, he showed up. Ultra Prime needed this. A 6-game lose streak ends with a 2-0 over RA.
They will make good on those early falterings here in the Rumble stage, and they will make good on how good they looked early on in the placement stage. A 2-0 victory to rectify their split so far, and Ultra Pride will be happy about that one. Look at the relief on Doggo's face. An incredible performance in back-to-back games by this squad.
QingTian also springing off his chair, fist bump to Hacker, who was sitting next to him. They know that this was a very, very good performance, and RA threw punches at them this entire time. Flank after flank after flank. The ganks taking objectives off of them. Ultra Prime did not budge a bit in this game. Excellent stuff from them, honestly.
Really just impressive. Just impressive. Not only the answer to the blind renekton, the